After a lot of analysis, I have come to a conclusion that men and women are full of it. Let me talk about the women first. Women are full of it because they say that they want a nice guy, but then again, when they get a nice guy, he's boring. Then when they get a guy with an edge who's like a razor, he cuts anything in its path, and they want them to stop short of whooping their ass. How's that gonna happen? Anyway, so so if he's got an edge, then they go for him. But if he's nice guy and he pulls the door, pulls out the chair for them, then he's boring. So if anything, you deserve every single guy that would beat the hell out of you because that's what you want. And if you didn't want it, you wouldn't be with those guys who do that. There's another thing. They claim that men are afraid of commitment, but then again, there was a woman who sent in a question about she wasn't ready to get married or whatever. She wasn't ready to settle down, but then again, she was engaged to be married to this one guy who was more like a homebody. We never really see that. We don't see that in Waiting to Exhale. We don't see that in How Stella Got Her Groove Back. We don't see that in all the other men bashing books and series and stuff out there where the woman is the victim. I'm sorry. The woman is the perpetrator as much as the victim. I've heard stories of men who got broken ribs, broken collarbones because their women were sitting there beating the fuck out of them, but yet when they call a domestic violence center, they get laughed at. Of course, yeah, because the men is supposed to protect themselves. But the moment that he smack a hoe, or I'm sorry, hey, you know what? If you can't take this already, then just pause and shut this video down. The moment he smacks her back, the moment he defends himself, he gets thrown in jail because it's domestic violence? Really? Yeah. America's very sympathetic to a black man who's getting the shit kicked out of him every day. Also, women, you know what? I don't care what anybody says. You're as horny as men are. You just don't believe you are, okay? When the guy initiates all the time, that's all he wants. When you initiate all the time, then you think he doesn't want you. Well, you know what? Make up your damn mind, okay? Deal with whatever the consequences are. In my relationship, my only relationship, really, that was the whole thing. He complained when I initiated. He complained when I didn't. He complained all the time, regardless of what I did. He complained when I was too aggressive. Complained when I wasn't aggressive enough. So you know what? First of all, find out what you want, and then if you don't know what you want, then don't string some poor guy along who doesn't know what you want from them, because eventually you'll end up by yourself, and then of course you'll be that strong, independent black woman that wonders why her bed is so cold at night because she has no one in it. Men, you are the exact same way. You don't know what you want, but then again, you're sitting there with a man or a woman who knows exactly what they want, and they're waiting for you to get your shit together. Honestly, I'm sorry. I refuse to do that anymore because of the fact that I was with somebody who was like that, and I'm not even gonna lie. I really, I don't even know why I still want to keep in contact with him or whatever. No, I do know why, because it's familiar, and because I'm hoping that someday he'll come around. But you know what? That only happens in the movies. That only happens in the movies because somehow within a 2-hour span they wise up and say, hey, if I'm as smart as I think I am, I'm gonna reside where love is. I'm gonna go where somebody loves me. But you know what real life is like? 6 Feet Under with Nate and Brenda. Nate just was to Brenda, and Brenda loved that. I don't know. She loved that abuse, really. She loved it. She loved that whole thing. And if she really wanted to be loved, she would have married Joe. She would have married Joe, and there it goes. So, you know what? Men are full of it, and especially older men. Older men are just older fools, okay? I'm sorry. They're all bullshit men out there. I don't care. Maybe I just have to go to another city and, like a bigger city where all the bullshit men are diluted out so I don't have to deal with them or whatever. Because, I don't get it. Maybe, I thought having a job was actually going to open up doors for me, which it has. But then again, many doors have closed because of the shift that I'm working. But I'm working on getting a shift that's mornings, because I need to have a social life. My social life is nil. Like, I really, today all I did was, well, hell, I shouldn't have spent the night over my ex-boyfriend's house, and it felt so awkward only because he made it such. And I just came back. I saw my mom and my sister, and then I came back here. You know, there could be a billion things going on tonight, but I'm not going to be there because I'm going to be working. And I'm glad that I'm working and all that, but it's just some old bullshit. So in conclusion, you're all full of it. Find out what the fuck you want, and if you don't know what you want and you're still single, you deserve it. If you don't know what you want and you're with somebody, you know what? Stop dragging them along. That's all I'm saying. Bye, YouTube.